Hey, it's Ellie. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. And I don't even know what to say, to be honest. You probably already noticed that I am building the house for my legacy family again. I've built so many houses for them, and they are always there in the lot doing random things because I always decide on a whim to build a new house for them because I get bored living in the same house. And honestly, I have so much money, I don't know what to do with it anymore, so I just keep building like bigger or just different in general houses so that I spend a little bit of money. I don't know, it's just not that expensive to live anymore. My bills are kind of expensive, but in the grand scheme of things, I think my bills are like 3,000 simoleons or so. 3 to 4,000. Maybe they're more than that now. But regardless, like, one of my Sims on their top career makes that in like a day. And 2 of my Sims have top careers and go to work and make a ton of money that way. And then, actually, my other 2 Sims don't have a job. My heir and his wife, they don't have jobs because I don't need them to have jobs to make money for the house, and so I would just rather play them with their little family. The sister of my heir, though, she does have a job because the legacy, my original legacy Sim, her wish now is to have one of her Sim children or grandchildren reach the top of a career. So I'm going to do that with one of her children while the other one I just mess around with. So yeah, it's a pretty good time. About the build though, I guess I'll talk about it some. I am building a sort of, I don't want to call it traditional necessarily, but it's got a very distinct, like sort of like a mansion type look to it, like a house mansion, I guess I would call it. And it's not really technically I suppose it probably would be a mansion. I don't know what the actual definition for the mansion is, like what a house has to have to qualify as a mansion, but this house looks like one of those giant houses. I think of them a lot like in the South. Like a giant, not a ranch house, but like a plantation house almost. It's got that sort of vibe to it, like lots of pillars. A lot of those had big wraparound porches though. This doesn't have anything like that. It's just a big house, a big white house with a nice fancy porch in the front and a foyer, and it also has this greenhouse on the side, which you can see, full of windows. There was a greenhouse on my Legacy Sims lot before, like a separate greenhouse, and I actually built that on my channel as well. There's a speed build for it, so I'll link it below if I remember, but I decided to just put a new greenhouse sort of on the side of the house because that would be easier, and also it'll be much easier, I think, to expand it just outwards of the house. And it won't take so long to walk across the lot to get to the greenhouse. The lot is so big. Even with this giant house and all of my previous giant houses, they look so small on this lot. I really have no idea what you're supposed to do to fill up a lot like this, like major landscaping like I did in my most recent 64 by 64 build, which was in Brindleton Bay. Speaking of, to be completely honest, I've been thinking about moving my legacy family to Brindleton Bay. I know technically you're not allowed to move within the legacy challenge, but originally, when there was only one 64 by 64 lot, I think, what world was that in? I can't remember if it was Windenburg or Oasis Springs. I'm pretty sure there's only one though in the base game worlds, and then they added the Get Together world, I think that's right. Windenburg is from Get Together, I believe. And that also contained a 64 by 64 lot, which is the one that I'm in right now. The von Windenburg estate, I believe it's called, because I didn't even change the name in my legacy game for some reason. That's okay. Anyways, I know when that world came out originally, and you already had a legacy family in one of the base game worlds, they did sort of allow you to bend the rules momentarily to move house to the new lot, because the only qualification for your lot has to be that it's a 64 by 64 lot, and also you have to start with no money. So I'm pretty sure you just have to kind of, well, I think you can just move. Like, I don't think you have to do any money cheats to that, because the lots cost the same, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you would just have to, you know, sell out your house and everything and put your house down again. Yeah, it's more cheating than the legacy game is allowed. And so that's why it's sort of bending the rules, because you're not allowed to do anything like that in the legacy game. But I don't know. I kind of want to live in the cats and dogs world. I like the world a lot better. The 64 by 64 lot over there is really beautiful. It has such a nice view. It's better than Windenburg, though they are pretty similar, to be honest. They're both sort of like island-esque, like little lots. I think obviously Brindleton Bay is more of like a bay than an island, but you know, they are very similar anyway. But I think I want the cats and dogs in my game, but I don't want them in my household, if that makes any sense, because they're really annoying to take care of, and I just still can't. I don't want it to take up an entire sim space too. I feel like, to be honest, if you can't control your sims, they shouldn't take up a spot. I mean the pet sims. Because it's just sort of, I don't know. And it's just one whole slot you can't have, and that matters in the legacy game or any other game where you have a lot of sims. And it's just silly that you can't click on them at all. And they take up so much of your family. That's all. So I wish they had like a separate pet limit for how many can be in your family, like 2 or 3 pets. I mean, I get why they didn't do that, because that would add a lot of complications to the game. Somebody's game would probably run really poorly if they had all 8 sims and several pets. And then you couldn't do like crazy cat ladies or whatever if you have a pet limit like that. So I understand why they made it the way it is, but I also think it's silly. So, yep. I'm kind of working on the kitchen, living room, dining room. I guess the living room's not really in here, but it does have this cool seat with the bar in front of it. I can't remember if I've done this in a recent build or not, but I built a house for one of my families that I'm playing in my own save game. Not my legacy game, a different one. And I had put the little corner seat in front of the bar instead of in front of a table, and I was like, this is a revelation. So I've been doing that a little bit now as well. I think it looks cute. I don't know. It just, that seat is so awkward inside, to be honest. It feels like it needs something in front of it always, like a bar or a table, or even I originally put a coffee table in front of it because it just looks strange if it has nothing. It probably would have looked fine out in the foyer, to be honest. I didn't really think about that, but I like the way the foyer turned out as well. And I like the bar seat, so yeah. I didn't do any landscaping in this build, and I should also mention that I didn't build the upstairs in this build. I mean, I built the framework of the upstairs, but I didn't decorate any of the bedrooms because honestly it's really boring, and I knew that this house was going to take me several hours just for the downstairs because it's huge, and there's like 4 extra rooms besides just the kitchen. So I just felt like the bedrooms was not needed to be recorded, especially since I'm just throwing all the same items in there that I have for all my previous legacy builds. This time I just broke up all the downstairs stuff, and some of their individual skill items I just made into, like I put the office over there, and I made a separate workout area, even though not many of my Sims are working out anymore because 2 of them have max fitness, and my air Sim I think is level 6 or 7 fitness, and then the husband of my original legacy Sim is, he doesn't do fitness, so he's like a musician. He's not really a athletic type, so I don't let him, well, I don't stop him from doing it. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just don't force him to do any exercise. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But, yeah, I think the house turned out nice, though. I just gave up with separating the families from each other. I always kind of wanted to put the legacy Sim, the original legacy Sim, and then her heir and his family, like, kind of separate. Because who wants to live with your mom, like, forever as you have your whole family and grow? But it's The Sims, they don't think about it that much, and it's easier to play if they're not separated. So I just put them all together. They're gonna work in the same room and have their conjoined offices and everything, and I think their bedrooms are gonna be next to each other, so it'll be fine. It's gonna work out just well enough. I think I'm almost done here, though. You know, one thing I didn't do is I'm not putting an outdoor kitchen anymore. I've just given up with those. I don't know, I'm probably going to do them a lot in my speed build still, but I'm definitely cutting back from doing those in every single build like I usually do, because playing through them is just sort of annoying. Also, sorry if there's a lot of background noise because my window is open and I just forgot about that, so you might hear the road. But anyway, man, when they try to make any kind of meal and there's an outdoor kitchen area with the counters, they always seem to want to walk outside, or like a lot of times also in the morning they'll like automatically go and grill something for breakfast, and that is a little frustrating. I don't want them to grill like hamburgers at 9 in the morning outside. It's just, it takes so long to cook when they do that. Everything about it is, it just creates a hassle. Okay, so I just made like 60 counters in the kitchen so that they can walk all over there. Problem solved. No, but at least you can cook multiple times. I almost considered putting 2 stoves. I still might for my own game, but I just put 1 for now because I thought that was good enough. But yeah, I am actually almost done with the build now. I'm just setting up some decor and whatnot. All these little trophies. And finally my greenhouse, which I saved all the plants, put them in my Sim family's like inventory, their personal inventories, and then I was able to put them in the house again. But that's the end of the build, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I post Sims videos every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye!